Hollywood has been shaken to its core, and they don't care anymore about sticking with woke. Why? Because Project Hail Mary has come in and reset everything, and so will Mario in just a few days. Today we'll tell you why. Suddenly, even the trades are saying, we're changing, we're going back to what works, we're dropping woke, and going to the fans. Hello friends, hello everyone, welcome back yet again. Another video of excellence on the way. And yes, you'll have an understanding into Hollywood and its sudden change in a way that not even the weirds can understand. As we dive in, click the like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe, and off we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a big box office for a certain Amazon MGM. Project Hail Mario, no, it's Project Hail Mary, is off to the races, and the races, they are fun. Ryan Gosling's sci-fi adventure earned the studio's biggest opening haul and maintained the best tomtometer? No, it's the tomatometer score for a wide release in 2026 by Eric Childress. Rotten Tomatoes covering this one and talking about just what a great job it did. How well did it do? Well, let's find out, ladies and gentlemen. It says, Ken Gosling was certainly an integral part to the success of Barbie, but it was the brand and Margot Robbie that had top billing up until now. Gosling's top opening was part of another brand in Blade Runner. But what'd this one do? Well, let's see. If we go down, is it just going to tell us about how he did in other movies? We don't care about that. Okay? We don't care about that. I'll just break it to you. He made $140 million at the global box office for Project Hail Mary. The Wrap is talking about it. Project Hail Mary's box office, what fueled Amazon's big opening weekend. Ryan Gosling's performance, Phil Lord and Chris Miller's filmmaking team, and Amazon's smart marketing made this sci-fi film a spring hit because they're coming up with reasons. Jeremy Fuster telling you what's really going on. But ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the proof positive that you have now conquered Hollyweird. From one of the trades, the Hollywood Reporter, this is a trade, okay? They're supposed to put out the objective truth, the orthodoxy from the Hollywood halls of the studios. It says, Project Hail Mary offers 4 lessons Hollywood should learn, but won't. From assuming audiences are smart using practical effects, here are some lessons from the blockbuster sci-fi epic. A reminder, it's supposed to make about 120. It made 140. This is shocking them. This is really, really shocking. They don't know what to do with this. That you were supposed to go see one battle after another. That's what you were supposed to like. You were supposed to lap that up, but instead, you went to go see a dude and his rock pet. Well, let's get into it. Here are the main takeaways from Hollywood, okay? Here's why it's doing great. 80.6 million, by the way, at the domestic box office. And this should have a phenomenal hold because audiences love it, which is another great sign that we're moving on from the woke era, because this is distinctly and definitively not woke. Why is it not woke? It's optimistic. It's not cynical. It's pro-human. It's not denigrating to its male leads. It's, folks, it's the story of overcoming. It's not the story of destroying the patriarchy. All right, here's what we've got. Listen to these takeaways. This is what Hollywood is putting out as the official bulletins for what everybody there should be saying around the water coolers. Assume audiences are smart. Well, gee, isn't that nice? Mm-hmm. Folks, it turns out, hold the presses for a minute. Turns out, you're not idiots. That's what they're saying. This is a roundabout way of saying they're not stupid.
But there's one further factor to that.
Please.
When you assume they are stupid, you offend the hell out of us.
Right.
And so it's not just the, giving us something we can dig our teeth into. It's the not condescending to us aspect.
Right. Assume audiences are smart, which is, it's lightning across the sky to Hollywood. Because, Wiz, they believe that the flyover folks are rubes. They're morons. And this is saying, wait a minute, we can't do that anymore. It turns out they do have high IQs, and they might even be smarter than us. That's the lesson to be learned. Moving right along.
Even more. What's condescending about that, before we get into it, this isn't a rocket science movie. It's the movie's not as advanced as they're making it out to sound. It's just a good story. It's a unique story. But no, apparently,
it's. I mean, you don't have
to be able to figure that out.
You don't have to have gone to Caltech to know that bad thing harming Earth. Let's stop it from harming Earth is the plot.
Exactly.
That's it.
Let's see what anti-woke thing Hollywood is also declaring is now the way forward. Embrace sincerity and optimism, which is a total affront to everything woke. In order for woke to be, you have to have an intrinsic, foundational problem that transcends into every part of the societal fabric. And you can't be sincere because everything's about a narrative. Sincerity requires truth. You can't believe in truth if you're woke. And optimism, how can you be optimistic if everything is being controlled and dominated by a patriarchal oppressor class?
Oh, one more thing. You have to believe things are so rotten that you can't solve it. You have to defer to so-called experts to solve it. Now, granted, there are experts involved in solving this problem, but, a school science teacher is not in the rank of experts, according to the wokies.
I never thought I would see the day where in the same week I hear the same argument from the Hollywood Reporter and Ryan Kinnell.
But here we are.
Ryan said this during the Geeks and Gamers panel on Saturday, talking about embracing optimism and heroism and how you have to let heroes be heroes again. And he's 100% right. And we see it. We see it with we saw it with One Piece season 2, right? Luffy is just a genuinely good character, and that's so rare today. People embraced it. We saw it with a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, with Sir Dunk, and just a genuinely good man trying to do good in the world. And it's like we've come back around to the 80s where like heroes just had to be good. The very thing that Variety lambasted Walker Texas Ranger for was the fact that Walker was always good and always right. And I'm just like, dude, like that was the point. He was a hero. Like we need to have more heroes in things. And it's 100% right, because what are two highly successful shows this year? Probably the only two is Knight of the Seven Kingdoms and One Piece. So there you go.
There you go. We've also got this, and that's well said, Marvin. Patience can be a virtue. Now, again, we're using the kind of language, right? We're using euphemisms. What is patience can be a virtue? Patience can be a virtue is them admitting flashy colors and CGI is not going to do it. We have to be better storytellers. Folks, what have we been saying here over and over in the age of AI? You actually have to tell us a story. And they're finally saying, but we actually have to tell stories again. We have to go back to the 80s model. We actually have to tell stories.
Did you see what Ryan Gosling said today?
What did he say?
I have an article about it on Geeks and Gamers. Ryan Gosling said to an audience, I'm going to paraphrase here, but the full article's on G&G, but he said, it is not your job to save movie theaters. It is our job to tell stories that are worthy of you leaving the house and spending your money.
There you go.
Talking to audience.
There you go.
He's getting the phone
out of my chair.
He's getting a phone call. Somebody's going to yell at him for saying that because it is exactly what we've been talking about.
Yeah, no, Lucasfilm is probably not happy with him saying that with
right.
Starfighter coming out, but it's the truth. And that's why I think Ryan Gosling is the next Tom Cruise. I think he could actually break out and be a movie star. Because after he said that, I'm like, I will go see whatever you're in.
Yes.
It's a great point.
Theory.
Please.
I have a theory on this. A lot of these people that are doing the writing and doing the decision making have gotten their self-worth and their self-esteem out of a degree that they paid too much money for, not real life experience. They've been told that they're wonderful just for existing, and they've never had to really work for anything. Back in the old days, you had to actually strive and succeed, and the model of the hero requires hard work, perseverance, success, and you're not just wonderful and a Mary Sue because somebody named you Ray. It's you actually have to do the work, and they resent the people that have talent and cultivate talent and really work hard to be what they are. That's why they love to tear them down when they put them on screen. And that's why anybody, if you go back to like Falcon and Winter Soldier, what did they do? They gave the super soldier serum, but it didn't make you buff all of a sudden. It didn't make you all muscular, because like that would be too much to ask these actors to go and hit the gym to be transformative.
with
They don't
Kumail
want-
Nanjiani being like, they made me do push-ups for the Eternals, and the people said I looked so good. How could they say that to me?
But guys, here's the thing. Back when Top Gun Maverick came out, what did they tell us? They said, we don't really know why the conservatives are showing up for this. It can't be replicated. This is a unique situation. We don't understand why the 60-year-olds are coming out to see this. We don't get it's unique. What did they say when Godzilla -1 came out? They said, it's dubbed. It's a niche thing. Nobody really is going to go see more of this. What are they doing now? This is the first time I've seen them actually change the message surrounding what's happening because their industry is collapsing. And in the age of AI, they must change. They must. And I want to show you this because, Andy, I think this is going to be a dream come true for you and for all of us, but especially for you. The last lesson they're learning, use practical effects whenever possible. And I need to explain this, why they're learning this now. The reason they're finally learning this is because a kid in Montana with a computer hooked up to the internet can make everything they can make in about 3 months. And that means they have to go back to something he can't make. And he cannot make practical effects. And therefore, practical effects will once again be the thing that separates Hollyweird from the average Joe. Your thoughts on this one, Andy?
I think that if there's anyone left that knows how to do practical effects, we saw this with that fabulous Acolyte with the the lightsaber duels, which were going to redefine lightsaber duels. I don't know if there's anybody left that knows how to do practical effects. If they can, then and you can tell that it's practical effects. That's really what you're after. That was the problem with the prequels, right? That you could tell that these actors were just around a green screen and there wasn't anything really for them to react to. You look at Indiana Jones and you see like the real things that they had to react to and they had to build things. And actually the stuntman that did the whip and like underneath the truck, that someone actually did that. You can't fake that. You can make it look like otherwise you get the Brie Larson effect there, where like making these fight scenes like that, like look really cheesy. But yeah, practical effects are always going to be better because it's believable because someone actually did it, and your brain kind of knows the difference.
Yep, and I could tell, when the ships were on the screen and there was the movement. I thought, something looks different about this. And then I figured out these are real ships we're looking at. I mean, they're miniatures, but they're actually moving. They're actually doing what we used to do. And that's why, folks, I'll put Variety up on the screen. They are just, they're pond scum. They're just one algae inch above TMZ now after what they said about Chuck Norris. But I'll put them up there because they have to say this. And so I enjoy making them say this. Project Hail Mary shatters box office expectations with 140.9. We'll call it 141. $1 million globally. It's got another open weekend with no competition. Sorry, Hoppers. Wiz, I'll give it to you for the final word. I feel very optimistic right now, not about Hollywood, not that they're intrinsically changing, not that they have washed themselves of the sins that nearly destroyed their industry, but that in an act of desperate survival, they're finally saying the audience has defeated us.
So this is my interpretation after sitting in the theater and watching Project Hail Mary. My first reaction was, oh man, Masters of the Universe might be good. Oh, wow. Amazon and MGM is making this play for like the Game of Thrones Iron Throne of Hollywood right now, and that's what this seems like. They went for James Bond. This movie, literally anything else Andy Weir wants to make, they're gonna finance and work with him to make it. Masters of the Universe is a very expensive movie. That's a massive budget, and now I think it might be good. because I think they really are going to try, and they're trying to meet audiences where they are. I think there is some kind of a change happening in a place where Amazon, who has the money to experiment and try to win audiences back. But if we look at something like Disney's not going to learn from this. Paramount is kind of a mess. It's going to take them, what, 6-7 years to even try to get something off the ground that competes at this level. Warner Brothers is, who knows, and Netflix is producing, I don't know, kind of Stranger Things, which is not really that exciting. One Piece, it's going to take years before we get more of that, and it's a little. I still think it's a little too late. I mean, we're going to see Amazon, and they're going to make movies, and they may crush it. All right, awesome, but we're still going to see 90% of the box office, 90% of the films that go to theaters this year, people aren't going to see and people aren't going to care about, and they have no reason to care about them. We've got Project Hail Mary. We've got Super Mario in a couple weeks. Anybody really excited for Toy Story? Are you excited for Mandalorian and Grogu?
Let's stay in April. It's so much better here in March and April.
Thank you. Well, that's just it, right? The rest of the year, what else is there coming out?
Right.
It seems like this is it, and Hollywood, the fact that we've all been talking about this for all of these years, we read this article from the Hollywood Reporter, it makes me a little frustrated. It's like, the audience has been telling you this for years, but you refuse to acknowledge that the audience is there because, I don't know, your hubris is off the charts. Andy made a good point about how there's the idea that it's who these people are that are writing, but Andy, I think, was a little bit nicer than I would be. These people they have no hope. They have no hope, and they want you to feel as hopeless as they do. Well, it's the writers. It's less about the everybody got a trophy, and it's more so there is still a form of nihilism in Hollywood writers that it takes a company like Amazon to say, no, we're going to do something by the book and to serve the audience.
Well, listen, the past is evil. Everybody's been oppressed except white dudes. The oceans are going to boil. Which, by the way, I love this movie is about the world getting cold instead. But the oceans are going to boil, the seas are going to rise, AI is going to kill us all, and the only way we can get through this is if we cull the planet of human life and hand over the government to these these woke woke wussies who are going to run everything for us. Hey, Ghost, real quick though,
same point, and then some. I've mentioned it in our backstage communications quite a bit, but I haven't mentioned it on the air yet. So here we go. I have now seen 3, and there are probably more instances of woke lefty websites, publications. For those who haven't seen the movie, don't know what it's about, I'm not going to spoil anything by saying there's an interstellar kind of virusy stuff that's eating up all the suns, all the stars, and ours is on the list, and if we can't stop it, we're all going to die. What do the wokies define the plot as? It's about climate change.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing man-made about it. There's nothing, but it's climate change because they can't let it go. And don't expect them to roll over. Don't expect them to give it up because they have no second act. They have no alternate facts. They have no nothing but the same theme song they've been singing for 15 years. So they're stuck with it.
It's a great point. Marv, there's a real climate change, though, and the climate change is that now the detractors of places like here and Fake Wizard, of Doomcock and so many other places, the M4 Empire, Marv, they can no longer, they're stuck with this reality. I don't know how they're going to spin this. They want to say that all we do is hate, 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 hate. All we are is negativo. That's all we do. We rage bait people, right? We just get people to click on things so they can despise. And yet, Marv, we love this, and so does America, and so does the world. And that's the climate change they can't stand.
Well, so the problem here is that, they want to say that we hate on everything, that hate is our currency. No, authenticity is our currency. And we are not going to sugarcoat things. If we like things, we will say it. If we don't like it, we will say it. And we don't care, about what people are going to say about that. That's the truth of it. And there just has not been much to like over the last few years. But just this year, you've seen, YouTubers in our space loving things like One Piece, loving things like Night of the Seven Kingdoms, loving things like this movie. But now the one thing I wanted to say about the one bit of change that I wonder whether or not that's going to happen is what Wizard was saying about Amazon. I don't think Amazon is going to become base studios. I think that firing Jennifer Salke was definitely a step in the right direction. You got rid of the woke witch of the West, and cast her into the fires of Mount Doom or wherever the heck she went. But you've still got Rings of Power being made. They're not changing anything with that in terms of scripts. You've still got the studio still, after she was gone, removed all the guns from the James Bond posters. They did eventually put them back, but they still made that decision, and they're making Turtleneck Tomb Raider. So I hesitate to believe that they are going to actually change their color, their stripes. They might start being like, okay, well, here's some woke stuff and here's some non-woke stuff. And maybe honestly, because there is a minuscule audience for that, maybe it wouldn't hurt to throw them a bone once in a while, so there's something that they like, but not spend too much money on it. Whereas something like He-Man, from what we've heard, like Nate on Mr. H Reviews has said, the person he spoke to who actually has seen He-Man has said that the pronouns thing was is a joke and it's played for laughs. And the guy who said Skeletor was the definition of toxic masculinity. It's very possible that he's just a Hollywood weirdo who misspoke. So we will see. We will see what Amazon does. I have a little tiny shred of hope. Paramount gave me a tiny shred of hope today with something that they did, which I'm assuming we'll be talking about at some point. But I have been burned too many times to actually think that the company that took the guns out of James Bond and thought that was a good idea is doing the Phoebe Waller-Bridge Tomb Raider is suddenly going to turn around and be like,
it all takes time. It all takes enormous amounts of lead time to process all of these morons that they brought in out of the system. So even if they wanted to tomorrow, if you fired all these people tomorrow, people always say, well, what if somebody took over Disney and they fired all these wokey people at Imagineering and everywhere? The first thing they would do is sue, because they would say, I was just following orders. And so, I mean, they would, and they'd be right. So if you hire huge numbers of people based on something that's absolutely unrelatable to success, no wonder everything fails. And no wonder you're stuck with them until you can get it out of the system. And we're going to have this hangover for years and years. We just are.
Here's an order for Amazon. Hey, Amazon, we'd like another Rocky movie. Yeah, not that one. Oh, that one too. But this one, the new Rocky, Rocky 2. Good night, game over, drive home safely. Folks, this video is done. But before we all head home, we only ask one thing. Folks, as you get ready to head on out, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below and share your thoughts, for a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Waste not that beautiful personality of yours. And folks, we would say, as you get ready to head out the door, that it has been an honor to spend time with you, an attitude of gratitude each and every time that you elect to join together with us. Breaking bread and breaking entertainment, well, the industry. No, we like entertainment. It's the industry that irks us sometimes. Well, it was a good time. We hope you had a good time. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.